Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I have with me James, I'm Cameron, and this is Avatar Way of Water, and we're here to talk to you about our favorite Avatar cards in the newest crossover.
Really, I'm Schultz Cubed if you want to find me anywhere else on the internet. If you don't, my social security number.
I'm MTGNerdGirl, and you've already found me on the internet.
There we go. Now, everyone, please hold for a moment while I correct James's use of his microphone for a moment. So you've got to, it's got to be like a hot dog, not an ice cream cone.
Got it.
Yeah.
I suppose that helps.
Yeah. You aim it into your mouth, not for those of you out there, if you're using a microphone, almost every microphone is much better to hot dog, aim it into your mouth, not ice cream cone. Doesn't work.
But who eats their hot dog like this? Don't you eat it like this?
That's
no.
Are you eating a hot dog like a corn on the cob?
No, you eat it, but you have it sideways,
Are you getting sendy with your hot dog? That's for I see kids. I know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Yes, for our audio listeners that understand what that means, that is the way that Nerd Girl held the microphone. This does not work for audio only. Today we're talking about Avatar cards because this set is actually really good. Not just like that in the way that they accomplish the flavor of the Avatar universe, but also like you are going to see a lot of these cards in your Commander games and other formats too, because they are very powerful.
I know I am very, very excited for Avatar. So all the cards we're going to go over today are going to be perfect for me. I don't think I will have any negative things to say about anything Avatar just because I'm super biased.
All right, great. So we're going to be talking about 15 counter spells that I will be using from the set, specifically in decked out episodes to stop all the things that Nerdgo wants to do.
There's actually a force of negation. And I'm like, I need one. I've never felt like I've needed one before, but now I feel like I need one.
Yeah, well, Force of Negation will not work on the first card that I'd like to bring up. This one has gotten some significant hype because it may be the best card in the entire set, depending on who you ask. Badger Mole Cub, which is 1 and a green for a 2/2. When it enters, you Earthbend 1, and whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. That is a lot for a bear.
Yeah, it's a mythic bear, but it certainly does a lot. And we've seen, actually, this is going to come out after our Avatar The Last Airbender episode, and you guys can see how hot some of these earthbending cards can be. They really pile up and give you a ton of value.
Yeah. But I like that you're like, but it's like a mythic, which in your primary format, limited, matters a whole lot more than in Commander where nobody cares. They're just like, I got the card, I put it in my deck.
I put it in my deck, yeah. And the money doesn't matter as much either because it's just 1-ofs, not 4-ofs.
Right. As far as limited goes, like, this is probably not that bad.
It's actually excellent. You can't ask more from a 2-drop. Like, the people think of 2-drops like this and think, oh, they're not as good as like, dragon winning bombs. But these are the type of cards that snowball you into wins that your opponents cannot stop. You're not going to get anything more powerful from a 2-drop slot.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I actually meant it the other way. I meant it's still very good for limited, but I'd assume that is the format that it is the weakest in, since some of its strengths are getting leaned into or built around.
I think this set, from what I've seen so far, is going to be very like Bloomborough-esque, where like an earthbending deck is not difficult to make. It's kind of on wheels to make those things happen. Mm-hmm. And or there's going to be so much of it where you're just going to get a bunch of fringe synergies regardless of how badly you mess things up. So I think it's going to be very, very easy to pull off. But the only thing I was saying was that people undervalue really good mythic and rare 2-drops because they don't win the game immediately without seeing that long-term trajectory that make it really hard for your opponents to interact with you. So I think their early bombs like this are as powerful, if not sometimes more impactful than the dragon you'll never get to cast.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But like, imagine this in the context of other formats. So like, there are any green commander wants this. any commander that's like, yeah, I run Llanowar Elves is like, oh, okay. Like, because it functions on its own, but then only gets better the more normal commander cards that you run.
Certainly, even Modern Elves saw a little bit of resurgence with the unban of Green Sun Zenith, which as a one of in every Modern or Legacy Green Sun Zenith deck, this is quite powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to not be afraid of your hot dog.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with you instead of with them, and I guess you guys want to hear what I have to say sometimes.
Don't be afraid of your hot dog. God damn it.
Yeah, look, he's like...
that was about as bad as my face position could have been. Especially with the unbanning of Green Sun Zenith, there was a lot of Modern Elves stuff going on. So for a Modern or Legacy deck with Green Sun Zenith as a mainstay, like this as a one of is fantastic.
Yeah, Mana Dorks, turns out they're very good. And then like, so let's say in any formats that you can play these cards, if you go like 1-drop, Elves, turn 2, Badger Mole Cub, now you've got one. You left your elves untapped, so you can now tap for 2 more mana on turn 2. You've also earthbent a land, so as you go into turn 3, you have, let's say, your 3 lands, one of which makes an extra mana because you earthbent it, plus your elves, which can also make an extra mana. That in itself is 6 mana on turn 3 with a 1-drop Mana Dork, which you were probably running anyway, and Badger Mole Cub.
You specified leaving the Llanowar Elves untapped, but technically you don't have to if you can tap the other way around because the land does it itself. So if you make sure to tap, you play the land and tap it for mana, leaving the first one. There's so many different ways you can do this. And if you don't have Llanowar access, you still can use that mana, which is insane.
Yes.
I think you're not taking that far enough because the land drop for turn should be Gaia's Cradle, and protecting Gaia's Cradle with earthbending is good, and then Gaia's Cradle as an animated land is better.
Yeah, Schultz, you focus a lot more on sweaty magic, specifically older sweaty magic, legacy, things like that. Do you think earthbending and cards like this are going to make it into eternal gameplay?
I think there will be fringe play for some. I think we'll talk about some of the other ones later, but definitely.
What about this specifically? Like Badger Mole Cub is very, very strong, but is it strong enough to like make it into Modern, make it into Legacy?
Modern, perhaps. Legacy right now, the Cradle Control deck isn't as combo focused. When it was running, I remembered the card.
Yeah, it's on screen.
Oh,
yes. For you audio listeners. Glimpse of Nature?
Glimpse Chain, yes. Glimpse of Nature.
Yes. Glimpse of Nature, which is 1 green mana, like sorcery. Whenever a creature enters this turn, you draw a card. Or cast. Yeah.
I suck at mental magic. The game where you just like play cards. You have to remember all of the names and what they do. It's just every card's lightning bolt in my head.
Yeah. Also, you're like, oh, I'm really bad at this totally useless skill. You know, in the card game where you play the card with the words on it that you don't have to remember because then you just they're on the card and you win.
It's not useless when you're doing a podcast and you guys are trying to think of a card and I there's zero chance I'm going to be able to tell you any card ever. I know what they do based on their art. That's
all right.
it.
So we'll describe an art and then we'll
yeah, and then I could probably tell you what it does. I couldn't tell you its name.
All right. So it's a lightning bolt.
that is more impressive. I think, especially as arts have increased.
Yes,
I would rather have that skill because I can start typing things in, but it's really hard to reiterate a picture.
I did a trivia game where they did the card was fuzzy and then they slowly brought it into focus and you had to say the card and it was mostly draft stuff and I just like crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
Well, one of the we're going on a tangent, but that's what we're here for, right? The upcoming game show that we'll be doing, one of the categories that I had in both the pilot episodes, like way back when, was just a picture of an art box, but instead of any art, it was just words describing what was on it, and that will definitely be coming back. So
yeah,
you'll be able to clean that category up.
I think that's great. That was a great category. I enjoyed that very much.
Oh, also, real quick, before we keep going, we are going to be doing an event at Mox Boarding House Portland, like in real life, to play the Avatar cards with us, and you should totally check it out. And we are, of course, recording this at the exact same time we did the rest of the podcast. Schultz is right here next to me. You can't see him. Somebody must have bumped the camera or something.
This special Avatar release event is going to be a ton of fun. There's charity, special themed drinks, collector booster raffles for everybody who participates. I'm even going to be in my Korra cosplay doing meet and greets and playing some Commander after. So make sure you guys check out the link down below. At the time of filming this, there's only about 40 seats available, so make sure you hurry.
Oh, whoa. Calm down, Schultz, okay? I'm excited too. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's stay in theme of busted 2-drops because there are a lot of them in this set. Let's take a look at Firebending Student. This is 1 in a red for a 1/2 with prowess, and Firebending X, where X is this creature's power.
That sounds very good to me. The mono red deck that beat Vivi had a couple of creatures that have abilities that can take advantage of the easy firebending mana. And there's a few more that don't see play that probably will see more play if firebending continues to be this prevalent.
You're talking standard now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, this is just like a jacked up like Monastery Swiftspear, right? A lot of times you play Swiftspear on one, you want to be like removing and doing stuff. And now you don't have to make that sacrifice to not cast something because you can cast this. I guess it doesn't have haste like Swifty. I still think it's pretty good. I think it's going to see some mono red play.
Oh, yeah.
But if it was haste, then I think this is absolutely busted and a mistake to print. But
yeah, this is maybe the best. This is maybe the best red 2-drop of all time if it has haste on it.
Yeah, and that's why when I read it the first time, I was just like, "Wait a minute, is this just Swifty on steroids?" But no, this is it's still very, very good, and I'm certainly sure this is going to see. This is the new version of Mouse Red.
I wonder if behind the scenes in Wizards design team room they've talked about this like specific thing. There's been a shift in how they're designing red cards so that they scale into Commander much better, because this we've already said will be very playable in constructed formats, but it also works very well for Commander because you have something that does a little bit of a thing early on, but you have the dream of I now pump it a billion times to get firebending like 200, and that is that's only something that's going to happen in Commander, but very doable here. And I think that's shown up in a bunch of other cards in the set too.
I actually think it's an interesting design as well because it makes some sorcery speed pump spells more relevant where we've tried not to use them. I know there's the one that gets bigger. It's Ancestry something. It's, gets plus X, plus O, and trample, where X is the number of this spell in your graveyard, plus 1.
Ancestry, and something. It's a 1-drop.
That's a card that has kind of made it in and out of standard, but mostly doesn't make the cut because of things like Monstrous Rage, which is now banned. So you're starting to see it a little bit more, but it's still not quite good enough. But with cards like this, where it incentivizes you to be casting pump spells before triggering your firebending, I'm wondering if it makes cards like that substantially better. You pump her up, then you attack, then you can use your removal and your Monstrous Rage-esque spells. So it's going to give you access to so many more pump spells, all the better if they cycle, because you can just keep laying into this. That's going to be pretty crazy to see.
Weirdly, I don't think this is the best red 2-drop in the set.
Oy vey.
But it is, I think, the one that's gotten more hype. The other side of things, this is one, I called this the job security card because it's very much my brand, and it's this kind of card that allows me to make videos that people don't understand in a way that they want to watch them. It's Ko the Face Stealer. 4 and 2 black for a 6/6. When it enters, exile target creature. When another non-token creature dies, you can exile it. And then you can pay 1 life to choose any creature card that has been exiled by those abilities, and it has all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. So, first of all, flavor, so well executed. You're stealing the faces off of creatures on the board, and then you can, at instant speed for 1 life, swap faces.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like there has to be a chance for you to dodge it for it to be super flavorful, right? Because if you don't look at him, you don't,
Right.
or if you don't show any emotion,
yeah.
he doesn't take your face. So I feel like you should roll a d6, and if you hit a 6, then then it fizzles, or he doesn't get that face. But that's me just being a silly little goose.
This helps me defend putting Mindslaver in every deck that I can afford to, because any infinitely activated ability for 1 life.
All right. Schultz is no longer invited to play on Decked Out.
Ooh, I know what I want to do.
That's funny that you bring up Mindslaver, since another card in the set has been brought up much more when discussing Mindslaver, since Toph, the first metal bender, can just play it every turn and use it every turn.
Apparently people don't like that, though.
No, I don't think people do.
It's interesting that Ko is getting like such a high-end premium card, which makes sense, but he is a pretty small part of the show. Mm-hmm. You only kind of see him the once, and you don't really get a lot more detail. And then he also is featured on a rare land, right? Not him specifically, but it is Ko's lair.
Yes.
Makes 1/1 spirits for 4.
Yeah. Hold on to that, because we're going to talk about
We're going to talk about those. But it just lore-wise, it's interesting. Yeah. He gets what, like a minute of screen time in 3 seasons, and he's got this epic mythic card that seems pretty scary.
Oh yeah, this is the Boba Fett of the series.
Yeah.
This is Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, I love it.
Because I mean, like it's the same thing, right? Everybody's like, whoa, this character's so cool that we see for 10 seconds, and therefore we can't get enough. And yeah,
Schultz, what do you think? Is this making its way into any sweaty magic?
No.
Okay.
No.
This type of card does concern me, though, because it is, even though it's a very good execution of the character, like canonically, this is a nightmare to understand and play reasonably. I have done like a short explaining a little bit of it, but I could not include everything that I felt I needed to within like 2.5 minutes on how this card works. It is very unintuitive on how it is able to take faces, and even if you are playing it exactly right, the sequencing of what you want to do on, like, okay, swap to this face to do this thing, okay, and then somebody like used removal, so I'll swap to this face to stop that, okay, and then I'm putting my combo together so I have to continue to pay 1 life in between like different triggers and things, is the most powerful way that you can play it, and it is really, really difficult.
It's going to be interesting if you have some sequence of face swaps that incentivize you to trigger an ability from a swapped creature and then swap into another ability that ability will then trigger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be pretty funky.
Yeah. I mean, even if you so here's a basic example is let's say you steal the face off of Shieldred the Apocalypse. And then you also steal the face of anything that like draws cards. So now you're going to want to use the thing to draw cards, then swap faces to Shieldred before that ability resolves, so you can gain the life off of that to mitigate the life you've paid to swap faces, and that's just 2 cards to draw things that you are then going to put more combos together with.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in a Scourge Familiar and you got yourself an infinite combo that plays your entire deck, but we won't talk about that. I feel like we have been seeing more designs like this that sacrifice players' understanding of the game to accomplish a cool thing.
Flavor thing.
Yeah.
So what if there's a replacement effect? What if you go to exile a commander with Ko, and then it goes to the command zone instead? Mm-hmm. We do not have the face of that commander?
Correct. Because it can only choose a creature card that was exiled with Ko. And if it goes to look for exiled cards and does not see that card, then you can't choose it.
And whenever another non-token creature dies, you may exile it. So that's just all of them. So this is also outside of the ability stuff, because there's going to be tons of creatures that Co won't care about, but you're just removing them from the graveyard. Like, this is also just like a hate piece built in, right? Like your opponents no longer have access to anything, any creature they want.
Yeah.
It's just in your best interest to exile everything that hits the bin. That's sick.
Yeah. Like, the card is very cool. Just be careful if you decide to play a bunch of it.
Are you gonna shuffle this up, Schultz?
Possibly. It feels like a good upgrade for duplicant.
Yeah, I was going to point this out. I was like, oh yeah, there's all these ridiculous lines that you can put together with it. If I hand it to NerdGirl, she's gonna go, great. So this is ETB removal and
hit you for
we
6.
won't worry about it. Yeah.
Don't be mean to me.
What do you mean? Don't be mean to you. That's the part I left out is, okay, this is ETB removal. Also, I'll use it to kill you. I'll win the game. Like, while I'm putting together like the 8-piece combo.
Listen, in limited, very few creatures have activated and triggered abilities that I care about.
Well, in average limited, but now this absorbs.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. There's so many more creatures in the set that do, but typically they are either things that you that cannot be activated from any deck, or your deck is not designed to activate and trigger them, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But you're right, just generic firebending, earthbending, whatever is going to be great. But yes, I intend to remove your creature and hit you in the face with a 6/6.
So we do get a land cycle in here that I guess I am excited about. The earthbending is very exciting to me because I want to put it on things like Wasteland or in adjacent to Lotus Fields.
Yeah. Now, okay. So to be clear, there's a cycle of rare lands that all have a similar thing. They enter tapped unless you control a basic land, and there's one in each color. You were bringing up specifically Ba Sing Se, which can earthbend for 3 mana and a tap.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the same cycle that we touched on with the Co card,
Yes.
the layer of Co or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Costco or something.
God damn it. When Veggie makes me laugh, I know I need more sleep.
But Ba Sing Se, the whole cycle comes in untapped if you control any basic, not just the appropriately colored one, which is kind of nice, especially for splash colors. And Ba Sing Se allows Earthbend 2 for 3 mana, which is conveniently the amount of mana a Lotus Field makes, with double amulet that now goes infinite, which is another line for our modern players. But putting it in on a fetch land in conjunction with Yavimaya on Wasteland, Strip Mines, Ghost Quarters, I'm excited.
Yeah, anything that has to, I feel like landfall, or not landfall, but specifically earthbending has Schultz's name all over it. Just seeing what Maldhound did in the game, just very, very casually, no big spoilers, but just putting earthbend onto Terramorphic Expanse over and over again and getting every single basic, feels like Schultz's happy place.
That would sound great.
Yeah, and I think this is the best one in the cycle of them. We'll get to the other ones for sure because I think they're all pretty relevant. But the fact that this can also earthbend itself, so it protects itself from removal, and then you can use it for these different combos, whether you're doing super Lotus Field, infinite stuff, or you're putting it on a fetch land. Or if you're getting a little fancier with it and doing like Flagstones of Trocaire, it seems fun.
Yep.
There's so many things that you can do with earthbending, and have it repeatable on a land is kind of nuts. And
there's ways to make it artifacts as well, right? So this would work with that Toph card that makes your artifacts lands. Is that the way it's worded?
Oh yeah.
So you could just have this as a recurrable way to continuously re-trigger your artifact ETBs and or graveyard nonsense.
Not that Ashaya needed any more combos, but Ashaya also really likes this.
That definitely works.
I think earthbending is the one I'm the most excited about. Firebending is fine, waterbending fine, even airbending, like, cool. But we've seen things like that, right? We have cards that counter a spell, you can replay it for 2, you can, look at someone's hand, they pay 2 more. That type of manipulation is something we've seen a lot. And waterbending is just kind of fine. I wasn't super impressed with it in our game, but earthbending is freaking exciting.
Yeah, this is definitely the most unique out of the bending styles.
And the stuff you can do is just so cool.
Yeah.
I oftentimes think that when they're doing modern design, they add an and the and pushes it over the edge for me. I think that here the and pushes it far enough. I think that if they didn't have and comes back, this is too risky. This is not playable. This is not good enough. So a lot of the times the and scares me. Here I am excited by.
I mean, it scares me. I think this is pushing it quite heavily.
Mm-hmm. I think it also got like it got a sneaky buff from existing in the set with airbending as well, because your land comes back if it dies or if it's put into exile. And I wonder if it doesn't get that exile bit if airbending was not in the set as well, because that certainly would not be any fun for the earthbending people if they were like, cool, I turned my land into a creature, and the airbender's like, sick, for practically no cost, stone rain you. Like,
it doesn't stone rain, right, though? Because I guess it does. They have to replay it for their turn.
No, because airbending is specifically cast.
It's cast.
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't be just cast. It should be play. And I think earthbending's too powerful. I wish it didn't just completely brick airbending. And I wish airbending did continue to exile them, but I think it should be balanced by allowing you to play the lands instead of just cast. Because this feels like pretty messed up to airbending. Because it's the opposite now. You were saying like it would suck for the earthbender, but now I think it sucks for the airbender. Like they just effectively don't do anything anymore.
I mean, it's not that they don't do anything, because they've stopped the thing from being a creature, which is probably the...
But so many of the things allow reactivations every end step. This can be activated every turn. So you've spent a whole card to effectively stop it from being a creature for 3 mana. For however long it takes them to pay 3 mana or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So airbending seems weak because of earthbending.
Mm. Well, we'll see at the pre-release.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, airbending is the one I'm most excited about. But there's... Okay, wait. So the other ones in this cycle, though. So you'd mentioned before Realm of Ko. I think this is one that people are going to overlook a lot. They're going to say, oh, this is the worst one in the cycle, and nobody's going to play it.
I love it.
It is the black one in the cycle. So same thing. Comes into play tapped unless you control a basic land, taps for black, and then you can pay 4 mana and tap it to create a spirit that only interacts with other spirits. So it can't be blocked except by spirits, and it can only block spirits. And I'm like, certainly a lot of commander players are going to be like, well, that doesn't do anything.
It certainly does do something, because spirits, that's pretty relevant. Small creatures, go wide decks, blockers. This is instant speed, so that's nice. But just like nobody's gonna be able to block this. Sometimes a 1/1 unblockable can do some pretty nasty things. And getting them every turn, if you pair that with things like firebending, the cost is really not that high. Yeah, I think this is a fun card, and I think in limited specifically, this is the type of card I'm looking for, hands down.
Yeah, this will win so many limited games.
Yes.
I can make unblockable 1/1s from my mana base.
And
Jesus.
even in Commander, like how many times are you just like running out of cards? You need an extra turn. You can't replay your Commander. You cost too much. At a certain point in Commander games, resources becomes the commodity, and you have more than enough mana to do kind of whatever you want, even excluding the firebending situation. So I think this is a great mana sink, and creatures that are difficult to interact with are perfect. You're not seeing a lot of spirits just built into decks.
Agreed on all fronts. I think that this one, in addition to the rest of the land cycle, is really light on devotion. So I think that they were pretty generous to commander players on what the mana requirements are. If you compare this to Castle Ardenvale, those ones are blockable, but it's 2 white. And I guess all the castles are double pipped. And here it's any basic, single pip, go. And that feels very powerful.
Co, actually.
I don't know which I like better, because the idea, like, I'm thinking here, they're unblockable 1/1s, but like Castle Ardenvale, I'm like, I can make it at instant speed and block on the crackback, so I can go wide and do the thing. So I don't know which I like better, the just generic 1/1s or this spirit. My instinct is I want the spirit.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think I love them not blocking way more than I love being able to block, especially because if my deck is made to make or use little weenie creatures for anything, then I should have more than enough for the blocks anyway.
Is there a good commander archetype in black that wants unblockable creatures?
Yeah, that's free. That's free ninjutsu. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, it's not free. It costs you 4 mana, and then you lose your creature.
Totally free.
That's an expensive one. I'd rather have 1/1 flying idiots, right?
I mean, yeah, but it is expensive. But I think if you hit the point where you're out of stuff, like just being able to generate a way to get your Rico back on the board,
that's built into your mana base. Right. Yes, it's certainly good. I think I am not loving to do this with ninjutsu, but it's definitely something I put in just because I can.
Yeah, that's I think the biggest thing that people are going to underestimate for this cycle of lands is that you can just put these in. There's so little downside to running these because they only care about any basic being on your board.
Also, how many like cards are there that anytime a creature, like the black or the blue Curiosity cat, whenever a creature deals combat damage, draw a card, like Dimir is gonna be pretty cool. There's a lot you can do with little evasive shitters.
Well, what you could pair with that really well is the white one, Abandoned Air Temple. Its extra ability is pay 3 in a white and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Okay.
Like, period. That's this one I thought was whew.
This is nasty. It's not even sorcery speed.
Nope.
Ugh. This actually got played in our game too, and I don't think I realized it was the land that was doing it.
Yeah. Oh, you can see your face in the episode. Go. Oh, they're counters.
Not +1/+1 till end of turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this being played, and it did not feel good to be on the other side of the table from this card.
No, but this is great. Now there's a way for your go wide decks to put counters on everything, because Gavany Township was really restrictive, and to have a second one on color that generates the right mana is wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not having to be in specifically green and white now to have this effect.
And the fact that these are not sorcery speed means it pairs well with firebending. So you get those Boros go wide decks, and they just like firebend X, and you're just like, cool, counters on all of it. Like after playing, all of your nasty, oh my God, pre-combat creatures, attack, firebend, counters on all of it. I'm going to be so happy.
Right. It's funny because I'm thinking the other end of it. I'm like, oh, so in like my Azorius play stuff on your turns decks, I can be like, all right, great, hold up interaction. Okay, nobody did anything that has offended me. Great. But pump my whole board right before I untap again.
Yeah, your whole one creature.
Yeah. My whole one dream trawler.
Shut up! I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Maybe this will be the thing that finally puts like a Boros aggressive go wide strategy in Modern over the edge.
Oh God. Yeah, that's never been done before. Totally unviable until now.
I played Boros at the PT.
We were being very sarcastic.
The best deck in Modern is
the energy one.
Yeah.
Boros Energy.
Okay, I played Boros at the PT before energy existed, so I haven't played that.
Yeah, I feel like Boros has existed in some form, like pretty much the entire time that Modern has existed.
Yep, and Boros Burn I think is a great mainstay. Like, there's your litmus test. Is your deck good enough to beat Burn? No.
The interesting thing too is it has been a long time since it's been like the best deck outside of the new one. For many years, it was just very fringe playable, but always could kind of sneak in wins, even when it wasn't like seeing a ton of play. I like my Boros.
Well, let's pair it with the red land. So this one I think has been overhyped. It's Fire Nation Palace. For 1 in a red and tap, target creature you control gains Firebending 4 until end of turn. So you are paying essentially 3 mana to gain 4 mana. People have compared it to Ancient Tomb, which I think is incredibly generous. Now, sure, Ancient Tomb not playable in like standard, and we haven't seen a land that can quite do something like this for a little while, but I think it is overhyping it to say that this is a tap for 2 mana land.
This is the thing of the 4 we've gone over so far, the first 3, 1 seems good, 2 seem kind of busted. This seems meh. And I'm wondering how you can sort of break this. Are there incentives for firebending? Like if you have firebending, you amp it. If you firebend, also deal X damage. But it needs more than just the card, whereas the airbending temple is just busted on its own.
Yeah, this needs a lot of help for you to be able to take advantage of what it does, even if what it does is strong.
Now, am I taking this in my red deck? Yeah, there's like 0 downside to it a good chunk of the time, because you can use it as a mana. It probably doesn't come into play untapped. Fine, you just get an extra in combat mana if you want it. It's free, but it's not winning you the game.
The ones we've talked about so far, you'd be happy to like pack one, pick one.
Yeah.
And this one, no. At least for me.
I think this is not even close. Like this is like a pick 6 or later.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have one more that we haven't brought up. That is Agna Kella, the blue one, which is nice and simple. 2 and a blue and tap, draw a card, discard a card.
Desolate Lighthouse.
Yeah. But to me, the big difference here is this land taps for blue mana. And a lot of the things that a lot of the similar lands that can draw and discard don't do that. They're colorless, and that usually hurts them. This again, like all of the other ones, there's so little downside to running it, and the usual downside for like Gaia Reach Sanitarium or Desolate Lighthouse is that they don't tap for colored mana. But I think this replaces them or complements them in all of those decks.
Hammy sat on my cord.
Come here, good boy.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much to say about this one.
It's the 4th best.
Yeah. Like it's very solid, but it is not the thing that wins you the game on its own.
I very much want this. Like I pick it up 3rd, 4th pick easy if I'm in blue, because the card selection to me, the card filtering is very, very strong and limited, but not super duper important over a good creature or removal. Now in Commander, this is just free. There's no reason we don't run this, right? I like all of these cards.
Yes.
In Commander.
Yes. These entire cycle I expect to become staples, and if they don't, then like we're super lucky because we'll be able to pick up a bunch of copies of them.
Yeah. I'll definitely be looking out for these when I'm building the cube, because we need multiple copies, I'm sure, of everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, Schultz, I think you had at least one more card that you were specifically...
Oh, wait, real quick. Can we do this? What do we think is the strongest of the cycle? We agree firebending is the worst, and second worst, like strength-wise, is the blue. Mm-hmm. And it's not bad. We're still playing it.
Right.
What's the order of the other 3?
Bossing Say is 1.
I think Air Temple's 1.
I think it depends on the context. I think overall, Bossing Say is the best.
I put Airbending Temple at 1 and Bossing Say at 2.
There are no airbending temples in Bossing Say.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we all agree Ko is 3.
Yeah, I think Ko is 3.
Really? Schultz would put Airbending Temple below Ko?
I think so. I think with board wipes, I'm more interested in rebuilding than I am furthering. I think that's a win more card instead of a recover from a board wipe, where Bossing Say and Co are, I was board wiped, end step, I'll make a dude. And now I have a dude where nobody else does.
I feel like my Go Whitey decks, like, yes, board wipes happen, but in Commander, there's enough sort of filter to you're going to build up a board again. Those decks are designed to do it. And having the cards that utilize those 1/1s and make you a threat are far and few. And once they're removed, you can't get them back, or they're like a one-shot type deal, like an instant or sorcery. So having something like that built into your mana base that your opponents can't interact with is going to be huge game. Mm-hmm. To me, that card, it's going to take those decks to the next level. Like the decks that want to have a billion little shitters, you're always going to find more shitters in your deck, but having the thing that makes those shitters scary, they're limited. And they're one-time use, they get removed, whatever the case may be, anthems. Having it built into your mana base that your opponents can't not interact with, premium.
All right. There is one more land that we should talk about before we get off of lands, which is tough for me to do specifically, but Secret Tunnel. The thing that excites me most about this card is that it's type Cave, which was a synergy thing out of Ixalan that we're seeing a throwback to, which means that they might continue to go back to Cave synergies.
They won't. I mean, I don't think they will, but...
Because being able to put any sort of Echoing Deeps style cave into play off of Splunking is a good feeling. And so subtype Cave makes me very happy.
I think this is very cute story-wise, right? 2 characters are unblockable as they go through the tunnel. I think that's very cute. The mana is pretty cheap, right? Because it's the same as what we usually pay for one creature to be unblockable.
Oh, yeah, for the activation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue's Passage is 4 and a tap for 1 unblockable thing. This is 4 and a tap for 2 unblockable things.
Now, the counterpoint to that is you have to have 2. You cannot have just one creature on board. And it specifically says you control, so you cannot be sneaky and target their thing on the blocks. You have to have 2 creatures. You don't have to attack, but you do physically have to have 2 in order for this to work. Otherwise, it's just, you cannot activate.
Yeah. I think as far as Commander goes, the decks that want this, it's not too much of a downside for.
I 100% agree. I think anytime you have a Rogue's Passage in your deck, you typically have no shortage of creatures. But it was just something to note rules-wise, because a lot of times it would say like up to 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have the 2 lovers in order to send them through the cave. Which reminds me, so this is why I don't think they're going to continue cave support. I think it exists as a cave only because they want it to be fetchable off of the Tale of 2 Lovers, the saga which is in the set, and they did not want to put the full name onto the card. Because if you look at it, one of the chapters is search for a mountain or cave and put it onto the battlefield, and then you earthbend it. So they wanted you to be able to get Secret Tunnel off of the Tale of 2 Lovers.
That makes sense.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I like the flavor text. I forget the next couple of lines, but then it goes, Secret Tunnel, Secret Tunnel.
That is how it goes.
I'm very excited for this set. I can't wait to play.
Here is a card. I don't know if you've seen this card yet, Nerd Girl. To me, this seemed like a nice blend of you and me as far as playstyles go. And I think it is also a card that's kind of getting overlooked because there are a billion good cards in the set. It's Fire Nation Occupation. 1, the name makes me happy because it rhymes. It is 2 and a black, an enchantment. When it enters, you make a 2/2 with Firebending 1. And whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, make another one of those tokens.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So 3 mana, you automatically get a 2/2 with Firebending. And then for playing the game, you also get to make 2/2s with Firebending. I am a person that just likes to play things on my opponent's turn. So it turns all of my counter spells into 2/2s with Firebending. And somebody else here likes to play a lot of single target removal, and it turns all of those into 2/2s with Firebending.
I just looked over and peeked. I was like, wow, it sounded like you said 3 mana. That can't be right.
Yeah, I think in this set, the most pushed cards are all enchantments, because there are so many enchantments that come into play with a token that is like a decent rate for that creature if it was just a creature, and then continue to do things. And this is one of them.
I love this card.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I love this card so much. I love playing like Rakdos-y, drain, value, grind, and this is 100% going into all of my decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just turn every piece of removal into creatures I can hit you with on my turn.
And then drain you.
Yeah.
Yep. And like sack decks love having a little excess mana, especially in combat. Mm-hmm. This is going to be my happy place for sure. I'm definitely an Orzhov Mardu girly, and this fits into that play style very, very well.
Mm-hmm. That's the cute thing too, is even though this is a card that costs black mana and uses red mana, firebending itself does not make the identity automatically red. So this can be played in any deck that has black at all.
That's interesting, yeah, because the usually the rule is if the symbol is on the card, it is that identity, and that's just not the case here.
Right. And even in the ones, you'll see some of them where it gives you the reminder text on what firebending is and has the red symbol. That does not count in the same way that extort does not count, because reminder text is not card text or something. Reminder text does not factor into color identity because it is not really on the card. I don't know. Magic rules are weird. But yes, this is a mono black card.
Excellent. Good to know. Good to know. Schultz, how do you feel about this card?
I like it. I want a Punishing Fire to trigger it, because that is the only instant that I cast during my opponent's turn. And it is flavorful enough that they should unban Punishing Fire in Modern.
I was going to say, you can't play that. It's banned. The card's too powerful.
Real quick, is this is a commander card?
Oh, yes.
So this is not even in the set.
This is good to point out. So you'll notice that the symbol is different from the Aang's head symbol. This is available in the Jumpstart packs.
So we're only talking about Commander here for this card. We're not talking about Limited.
Commander and Legacy, yes.
Okay. My WoW is a little bit early then. That sounds right.
Yeah, so essentially this is only a commander card. This is not enough to make its way into Legacy as someone that doesn't play Legacy, but I can pretty much identify that. Come on.
It isn't. You'll see a couple of content creators put that into a deck, but I don't know that it's got the staying power.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, compare that to Beans. Like, Beans is there, but Beans replaces the card disadvantage. This is, okay, I jammed a spell, and now every time I force days, I make a 2/2. Is that good enough? I don't think so, but will it be tried for sure?
Yeah, I don't have a good segue for this. I think we definitely need to talk about Wan Shi Tong. And I specifically mean Librarian here. There are two Wan Shi Tongs. I think both of them are pretty good and very interesting. But this Wan Shi Tong is going to see a lot of play.
Read them to us.
A lot of play.
Yeah. This is 2 blue and X for a 1/1 with flash, flying, and vigilance. When it enters, you put X counters onto it and draw half X cards. And then whenever an opponent searches their library, you put a counter on it and draw a card.
But searching your library only happens like once or twice a turn. You like rampant growth, and then after you shuffle, then you can like fetch Fabled Passage or some shit. Like 2 cards a turn tops. Like is 2 cards a turn per turn cycle really good enough for a 2-drop?
Also, if you just shortcut it and don't shuffle your library in between, then it's really only one. It's only one search, right? If I'm like, oh yeah, crack Fabled Passage, I also have a rampant growth, so I'll just do this both at the same time. That only counts once, right?
Exactly.
My immediate instinct was when you play a partner card and you can make your opponent search for it. Is that a May?
I think it's a May.
Dang it.
I think it's a May because I almost positive
land destruction.
I'm almost positive that it is a May because when I went through to look for stuff, that is the only thing I found to force your opponent to search their library is land destruction.
And there's some that even the land destruction that is even a May. If that exists, I don't know. I'd have to go read the cards. I've never paid attention because you always want to get your land.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want your land or do you want me to have a card? I like that. That's a little devil's advocate for it. Yeah, this is sweet. I'm excited about this card. It also has the sort of Hydroid Krasis-esque ability where you're drawing a bunch of cards where X is half. So the Krasis sort of chain into each other nicely, which is the same here for Constructed. This seems Constructed playable to me by a lot, right?
Very much so. I think that the X is kind of the only weird part. It's like kicker X, but for 2 blue, 1 flying, flash, anytime your opponent fetches, it seems amazing.
I just know like when Hydroid Krasis was a thing, it was very, very common to be playing it for 5X. X is 5. So that way you have a big threat, they deal with 1, but it drew you into more threats. And it was sort of a really good way for low threat heavy, like decks with not a lot of threats to get more and to have it. So you sort of got to have your cake and eat it too, where this is a threat. It's also drawing you and doing the control game.
Yeah, I think that makes it like that's the thing that pushes it over the line is that they added the X because like Archivist of Ogma exists, and I guess I'm jumping a little bit from Constructed into Commander. So let me back up a moment. So as far as Constructed gameplay, the fact that you feel fine playing this for 2 blue mana, or you're like, oh, I need a thing that like wins the game now, so I just have a big flyer that also still has all the text from what it would have been as a 1/1. That's having it fill both of those roles is really incredible. And then for Commander, like I said, Archivist of Ogma exists, which is a very similar text. It's a 2-drop that flashes in, and whenever your opponent searches, you draw and gain a life. The problem with that card is if people don't search, like you're guaranteed to hit one person because you flash it in, but then sometimes the card just doesn't do anything for the rest of the game. This gives you both of those modes on, okay, I can either guarantee by flashing this for 2 that I get somebody searching, or I just play it real big and now like this is a thing that moves the game along.
And you get to draw your cards anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Hydroid Krasis. I'm playing this card. I think this is going to definitely see some standard play. I'd be interested to know what this card is pre-ordering for, because I think this is going to be kind of spicy, and it's mythic.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the thing you need 4 of.
Yeah.
It is legendary, right?
It is legendary.
But I think that in modern shells, it is sideboard for Titan stuff. I think in legacy shells, it's a mainstay. It combats Orcish Bowmasters quite well. I think that it is a fantastic card. I would expect this to be the money card of the set.
Definitely one of them, because also a lot of the Commander players will want it. Like it hits all of those marks of this card will cost a lot of money because everybody wants it for stuff, because it's certainly going to be a CEDH staple, where every tutor, every fetch gives you a card draw. So, yeah.
Let me see. How you spell him? Got it.
Yeah. Make sure, though, it's because there are 2 Wan Shi Tongs, and the other one is interesting. But we won't discuss that today because we got other things to do. I want to point out one that I don't think anybody else, because I don't think anybody else will be talking about this card. I want to point out one that I don't think anybody else will be talking about because it is hidden in a set of very big things, but it stuck out to me as pretty important. This is Longshot Rebel Bowman. It is 3 and a red for a 3/3 with reach. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent.
That card got power corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah, this is super gutter snipe.
Yeah.
This is an auto included in all the Spellslinger decks where we're already running those sorts of things, but this triggers off of any non-creatures, so artifact-based decks are also happy with this, and the giving a generic reduction to all non-creature spells, that does so much.
Spellslinger decks didn't have enough ways to kill you, so they had to give them a good one. And the extra toughness is pretty nice. This is a 3/3.
3/3.
So normally you either get like 2/2s, or you get like 1/3s that don't attack well, or you get 0/4s that don't attack at all. This creature just has, pretty swole stats for this type of effect. It is 4 mana, which I think is one of the most expensive of the Spellslinger shooty idiots.
Yeah.
But I mean, he seems well worth it. Definitely a commander staple.
Yeah.
Schultz is making a face.
Is KCI banned in Commander?
No. It is not.
What is KCI?
Core Clan Ironworks. It's the 4-drop, sacrifice an artifact, make 2 mana, but it's got a bunch of infinite combos and was banned out of Modern.
Oh, you quit during this time.
Oh.
This was Darksteel.
I played some during Darksteel, right? Kamigawa was after Darksteel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit for Kamigawa. But I was there for a while for Affinity. Like I was playing limited and stuff.
Okay.
And then at a certain point, it became very unfun. But yeah, I definitely played a bunch during it.
Yeah. This card is one of the other unique cards that's hidden in the Jumpstart stuff. I think that this is a big sleeper because of how many decks are going to want it and because of how hard it is to get. So just keep that in mind when you make your order from Tales of Adventure.
Yeah. Get 5% off. Code decked out. Support the show.
Okay. I have a scary one. This was one of the last cards that was spoiled for the set. So there's not been a lot of time to talk about it. This is Zhao the Moonslayer. I know. You should be very...
You scared Hammy.
This is a scary card.
Yeah, this is the most frightening card to Schultz in the entire set for sure. This is 1 in a red for a 2/2 with Menace. Non-basic lands enter tapped. Pay 7 generic mana, put a Conqueror counter on Zhao, and as long as Zhao has a Conqueror counter on him, non-basic lands are mountains.
So this is in Jumpstart, right? They wouldn't print Blood Moon into Standard.
That's a good thought, but this is standard legal.
Interesting.
Yep. This is standard legal. This is, Pioneer, Modern, everything. This is in all those.
Rip Schultz.
Land bases have been getting too good recently. I think that this is fine. I think it's the best use for firebending mana that I've seen.
How sad is Airball right now?
Yeah. Look. So it shuts down a lot of like good landy things like Lotus Field and every deck that Schultz has. But 7 mana is still a lot of mana.
I mean, just the comes into play tapped, which means you can't like play like Thespian Stage and copy in the same, you know what I mean? It just, it's going to remove so many of those go off turns and make everybody play a turn later, which is just absolutely brutal. Because almost every single time a Lotus Field deck wins, it wins the turn before its doom.
Yeah. Yeah, it waits as long as possible. And it's like, great, am I at 1, but you're tapped out? See ya.
And it can't do it any sooner. So like, even if you just have 1 land tapped and it prevents them from doing 1 hidden strings or something, that's going to be game over.
Yeah, back in the day, Thalia Heretic Cathar? Heretic?
Thalia, the one that's on screen, the correct one that Schultz is talking about, of course.
Yeah, the 3-drop that makes all your lands come in tapped was brutal against any sort of control deck trying to get there on 4.
Ha.
Yeah. I think this, though, is especially relevant because while red has been a color that doesn't like non-basic lands and has had plenty of ways to hate on them, I think this is the first time ever that it has gotten white's version of that, where they come into play tapped.
Yeah.
And that is, by itself, such a huge tempo, like...
Does it turn them into mountains? Or does it just say they only tap for red?
It turns them into mountains.
Okay. So my Bloomborough Spine Links thing is not good here. Sad. It deals damage based on non-basics.
They are not basic lands.
Oh.
Okay.
So
yes,
they're still whatever type of land they are originally. They're just called mountain and make mountain.
they are a mountain, but they do not have the super type basic.
Correct.
Do they keep their super type that they had?
No.
So they're nothing but cat works. That's all I care about.
Cat works. Yes,
Great.
your Sunspine links or whatever works. Price of Progress still works.
And there's like some like land blow up cards that say like destroy a non-basic. So that also is relevant.
Right.
But I feel like once I've turned all your shit into mountains, I don't really care about blowing up any of your lands anymore.
Right, you're done.
Like, yeah, it's just insult to injury.
So one of the things I'm excited about with this card is with the new Saga templating, this I expect to see play alongside of Urza Saga.
I thought you were going to say you know who not to be friends with anymore.
Oh, if you want to jam land hate into your commander decks, by all means, go ahead.
I actually I think this is one of like the struggles of this card is I think without the Blood Moon part of it, this is really, really good for red commander decks at a casual level. Just having non-basics entered tapped is a fine piece of stacks that does not stop anybody from doing things. It just slows them down. And that is such a valuable thing for red decks to do. But then tacking on the, well, if I pay 7 mana, then I can stop everybody from playing the game. That's actually a struggle of the card as opposed to like an upside for casual commander.
Yeah, for casual commander, it's pretty rough. Now, I will say it's just a 2/2. So if 3 players can't blow it up in a mono red deck, that can't really protect it very well. Like we have untimely malfunction or something. But for the most part, you're not really stopping anybody from nuking this thing from orbit. So I'm not too worried about it being overpowered. I agree it's a mean piece, but it's such an easy piece to remove. So I'm fine with it in my casual commander.
Ooh, you heard it here first, folks. Nerd Girl dies to removal, therefore bad card.
I didn't say it was bad card. I said it was okay card. I have plenty of removal in my deck, so I am not worried.
Yeah, I mean you're right. It's a fragile creature. It's very small and does not protect itself. But it does have a struggle of I'm going to play this 2-drop, and if you all don't answer in a cycle, I have the option of turning the game off. And sometimes that will happen.
But it would have to be a 2-drop on turn 5-ish, 6-ish in order for that to be the threat.
And you have a turn cycle to answer it with all of your mana, and then after that, you still have any other red players who maybe can deal with it with like Blasphemous Axe or who knows what. And honestly, games have to end. If you play a 2-drop, I can't kill it, and you spend 7 mana to end the game, then great, you win.
Oh, but see, you're giving commander players too much credit. This does not end the game. This just stops everybody from playing. They don't know that the game is over because they can't play. They will then continue to play for another 2 hours while they can't cast spells.
If the red player makes it so no one else at the table can cast spells and they can't end the game, then what are we doing here?
They can end the game. They just have to. The other players will be like, oh well, maybe I could draw my one thing that stops this, and so the red player wins. They go, great, all right. Okay, I'll swing at you for like 20. Cool, but they have to do that,
X number of times.
Blood Moon is also an effect that scales with power levels. Like if we are talking about most tier 2 decks, they are heavy with basics. So this only shuts down non-basic lands. It is not as awful as we think it is.
I think this card's fine.
I do wish there was a version that didn't have that, so I could play it in lower bracket things, because this certainly would be considered mass land denial. But I think red having non-basic lands enter tapped is a thing that it should have and helps red decks out a lot.
I have a lot of basics in my decks, so maybe that's why I'm not scared.
I have one last card. I have spoken about this on a short so far, but I think I'd like to hear what you all have to say about this. This is Avatar's Wrath. This is 2 and 2 white. Hey, Wrath for 2 and 2 white.
I see.
Right? Choose up to one target creature, then airbend all other creatures. That is, they are exiled, and then its owner can cast them for 2 generic mana from exile instead of paying its mana cost. But also, until your next turn, your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands, and then the spell exiles itself when it resolves.
And it's sorcery speed?
Sorcery speed. So 4 mana, get everything but 1 creature off the board, and those cannot be recast via airbending until 1 full turn cycle is gone.
Is it 1 per player or one creature period?
1 creature period.
Okay.
Yeah, you leave 1 of yours, and then,
It's interesting that white is getting, although very different version of Cyclonic Rift, right? It's sorcery speed, but it's really cheap. I like the airbending mechanic. I think this fits very well. And again, very different, obviously, than Cyclonic Rift, but it is the same idea. And I think that's neat for white.
I think it's actually a really good comparison that people have not been making, is that it is very similar to Cyc Rift, because you're putting everything into a place that players will still have access to later. And you are doing things like you're not triggering death triggers or things like that, but you're getting things off the board. Yeah,
it's interesting because it's got a lot of pluses and minuses in that comparison, in that it's a lot cheaper than Cyc Rift, but they can replay them for much cheaper, but they can't play it in the next turn if they need it. So it's just like this give and take. They've done a lot in the experimental tweaking of a kind of existent card, and giving it to a different color pie is very cool. I think this card's great. Is this in the main set?
This is in the main set.
Okay. Huh.
So that's why I think this card is fascinating, because there's so many bits to it and how they tuned it, and the fact that it is playable in many formats.
I'm sad that when we play this in Commander, if we're doing like the avatar specific pod, like if this would have come up in our game, it just bricks 2 players and the earthbending person laughs at you, which is kind of interesting. Like that we talked a little bit about that in the beginning of the thing about the airbending, earthbending combo.
Mm-hmm. As the airbender here, I'm not as concerned about it. I thought that was honestly pretty fair for them to do it that way, to have lands come back. But
and artifacts and whatever.
Well, that's only because that player is specifically playing Toph.
Yeah, it's still a lot though, because getting all your lands back is sort of the premise, and they have re-trigger earthbending stuff. So I still think it's pretty nasty, but I like the card. I think this is neat.
It's very neat. I'm thinking back to Standard, and you always have your Ojutai, your Rivers Regent, your one big blue-white threat, and then you Wrath. If your opponent has interaction, there's actually a pretty heavy drawback for this being the Wrath of choice. If you've got any one creature and they're able to remove it, you now were unsuccessful in your Wrath attempt. So this being a 4-mana Wrath in Day of Judgment is the standard legal one. Mm-hmm. It's not free. So it is conditional, and I like it. I don't like the combo potential, because all of the ETB triggers, especially in white, is not something I'm looking forward to. I did see your short, so thank you for including Emrakul.
I mean, like, that's let's be honest, that is not a realistic.
Are you talking about earthbending your own Emrakul?
So yeah, because you can. This has like weird combo upside of, okay, if I've airbent all my own creatures as well, that means I can recast them, and it means I can do weird stuff like reducing the cost of those cards, since this does not stop you from recasting those. It only stops your opponents for a turn rotation.
And it's cheap, so you could just recast it right away more often than not. By the time you want to cast this effect, you certainly have more than 4 mana. Mm-hmm. Although, is airbending like...
No.
Okay.
You can do it right away.
Okay.
You're thinking plot or foretell?
Yeah. Those type of things often say not until your next whatever. So interesting.
Yeah. No, this is the perfect this is a perfect dirtily mechanic for me, where I'm like, great, airbend my thing, recast it, did one tiny thing, great, airbend it again and recast it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but if you have an Emrakul in play, it's a lot less dirtily. But if you have an Emrakul in play and you're casting this, like I feel like that's a little overkill if you have an unanswered Emrakul. Most of Schultz's responses is just shit-eating grin. So for those of you who are audio listeners,
yeah, Schultz, I'm gonna need you to speak the words "shit-eating grin" every time that you do it, so that those people listening on Spotify can play along.
That was a big old shit-eating grin. Emrakul is great. I like taking my turn. I like taking your turn more.
So overall, that's the last card you wanted to go over. Make sure you guys leave us some comments and let us know what cards you're talking about. Obviously, for an hour and a half, I feel like we could have talked 6 hours for all the cards that we're hyped about. So maybe we have to do another one of these. Let us know in the comments what cards you would like to hear us talk about, or that we should just be putting on our radar so other people can know as well.
Yep. Trust me, they're all there. I have a much longer list, but we only have so much time.
There are a lot of crazy cool cards in this set. I'm very, very excited.
I think over the course of this, I alluded to like 4 or 5 cards where I'm like, well, there's this also, but we don't have time for that one.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, not the best red 2-drop. Other Wan Shi Tong. Something else.
Should we get to a boy question?
We should.
All right. For those of you guys who are new here, if you hashtag boy question in the comments, you can ask us just about anything, and we will pick one each week to answer. This one is from Terrence. Hashtag boy question. In Commander, which kindred creatures do you find the most engaging, and which give you PTSD to play against? I think this one's really cute. I think I'm a big creature type based person. I have a lot of fun playing them. I've been a Legacy Goblins player for 20 years. Well, one of the very first decks I ever built. So I'm a big creature type fan. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it.
When it comes to classic types, you really can't go wrong. The most fun I think I had was the Bears deck that I got to play on.
Oh, yeah. Was that
show.
Queen Ayula? Yeah, that was a fun deck.
And it's just on flavor. It's all bear types, but you hit a bunch. I like them all. Goblins, elves, they exist. It is fun. The one that I groan every time I see is Slivers. I have rarely run across a fair Slivers deck, and if they were, just Mana-Weft Slivers and stuff, I'd be fine with it. But I'm gonna cascade into 11 others and win this turn, and that is, it doesn't have the same developmental feel that the other Kindred decks do to me.
That's funny because I'm the other way on Slivers. Personally, I'm like, yes, we all know that they're super busted and casual. But what they represent for me overrides that. I'm just like, man, from the old kitchen table days, like they were so cool. And like, yes, they were still really powerful, but they didn't have like a lot of the pieces that they have now. It's just like they're still cool enough to me where I'm like, I don't care if I lose to this right now.
If I had to pick a typal deck as my ride or die, I guess that's just goblins, just because I've been Legacy Goblins forever and ever and ever. And one of the first typal ones I built for the show was Muxus. But I was looking at our list of creature-based like themed episodes, and I think we've only done 2. Episode 12 and episode 45, which is where Schultz had the bear deck. That was elves, merfolk, werewolves, and bears.
Oh my.
That was the title of the of the episode. It was Oh My for sure. And then the other one was, I don't have them listed. It just says our favorite creature types, but I know that's the one where I played Muxus. I think those are the only 2 typal episodes we've done on the show. We've had other creature type themed decks that were just like fit in with whatever our theme was. We did an animals one, so I know there was a frogs deck there, but the other 3 were just like animal commanders, not specifically typal decks.
Right. We did a cat, like a cat kindred. I think that of the cat based pod, there was one that was dedicated cat creature type.
So I was going to say the goblins would have to be my ride or die, but I love it when you get the creature-based decks that are not common, like the Halloween episode where we did the cats, which I thought was a ton of fun. And then...
Or the Christmas cephalopod episode.
Our Jurassic Park themed episode, we definitely had a dinos deck, but then there was also other Jurassic Park themed commanders that just didn't have creature type based in mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's episode 80.
Yeah, one of mine got they got murdered and absorbed.
Which one?
Which would have been cephalids.
Oh yeah, we did that for Christmas one time.
Mm-hmm. They don't exist anymore.
The cephalids, they got eroded. What are they now?
They're just octopus.
If any of you guys like elves, we did an Oops All Elves pod, episode 86. That was really fun. We were all in cosplay for that too. I think only one of the decks was like elf ball though, and the rest were just elf commanders.
Mm-hmm. I think elves are actually the one for me where that's the PTSD one for me, is because similar to Slivers, they have always been a deck and they have always done the elf thing and they've always been very good at it from, back in kitchen table 60 card Magic stuff all the way up through now in Commander, and they've never been my jam and I've always lost to them.
I think I actually built elves before I built the Legacy Goblins. The thing is like it wasn't competitive. It was just like a bunch of pile of elves that I had. And so I have very fond memories of like Well-Wisher, even the little bug maker,
Hive Master.
Yep. And then the one that untaps everybody. And then there's like Timberwatch, the one that pumps X plus X. So it was very dirtily, but like in my kitchen table friends stuff, it was very, very fun. So, and did well for that. But the first one I built that was real, like an online deck list was Goblins.
This checks out. It does.
I still have all of my like OG foil Wirewood Lodges.
Ooh.
And they make me much happy. I also have the Goblin Burrows all foiled, but like those don't see play the same way, but they make me happy just the same. I'll never get rid of them.
Sometimes you just gotta give a Goblin +2/+0,
Yeah, there was even an elf that like untapped the land that you could just then keep pumping, which is just brutal.
Mm-hmm. But what's your type that scares you? What's the one that's always struck fear into your heart?
Well, when you're talking, I don't think I have that for like 60 card. I think they're all just kind of fun. But I will say that like the Dragon and Slivers, they don't necessarily strike fear in my heart. It's more just that I don't enjoy playing that level. They tend to be juiced to a higher power level than I like to play in my board game Magic.
Dragon's a good one.
I like dragons though. I've always collected dragons. One of the first Commander decks I tried to make was a dragon deck way back when. And I couldn't cut enough dragons because I just like I owned one of every dragon in Magic at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, also this answer checks out from you. Like I fear nothing. I can never be traumatized if I am the one casting traumatize.
Yes.
Like, oh, I guess, yeah, it would be pretty rough for the other two of you if you lost Magic the Gathering games to those things, but I don't know what that's like, so I guess there's no type that I'm worried about. Huh.
I just don't like to shuffle up against things that are outside of the power level that I like to play. I really liked it. On the show we did Dragon, but all commons and uncommon dragons, and I thought that was fun. I didn't play it, but I thought that was very cool, and it brought what I would say is like the thing I don't want to play against into the realm of things I want to play against, and I had a blast playing against it.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is you have not answered the question.
I have no traumatization.
I have no fear.
I have no fear.
We are mere mortals, and some of us don't know what it's like to lose a game of Magic the Gathering. So one day
I lose sometimes, not often.
Shit-eating grin.